Hello. All right. Sorry about that. Had some technical issues for some odd reason. My mic wasn't wanting to work. Hello. All right. All right. So there we go. So, like the title of this says, this is kind of a heart to heart, but it's also mind to mind, a soul to soul. This is going to be a little bit more of a different stream than I typically put out. This is something where I'm going to be speaking more from the heart than I am from my brain. It's one of those things that is part of what made me make the channel in the first place. I have been noticing a lot of hatred coming from people, and I understand some of it, but and I'm not saying hatred necessarily towards me. I'm just talking about hatred in general. And I mean, I'm guilty of that too. I've spewed some hate in the past. I fully admit that. I own that. But there comes a time where hatred becomes truly destructive, and that's what we're seeing nowadays. And there's a lot of people that are getting caught in the middle. A lot of people that want nothing to do with it. And the thing is I understand the anger. I understand some of the vitriol. Wrongdoings have been done on all sides. Everyone's sitting there trying to point the finger at everyone else. No one's willing to take responsibility for their part in it. I just want to remind everyone that watches my channel, and to those who watch my channel, I do thank you from the bottom of my heart. But I want to remind everyone that watches my channel, anyone that might come across this video, even if this is the only video of mine that you watch, we are all in this together. It doesn't matter what religion you practice. It doesn't matter what color of your skin you have. It doesn't matter what culture you come from. It doesn't matter what language you speak. It doesn't matter what beliefs you have. We're all in this together. We all have to share this floating mud ball of a planet. And quite frankly, I think that we need to stop doing everything that we can to make it as miserable of a place as possible. You're probably not going to hear too much excitement in my voice in this, because to me, this is actually a very serious topic, and it's one that I've been meaning to tackle on this channel for a long time. And for some reason, right now feels right. Now, I can understand that a little bit of animosity can actually drive us forward. You know, kind of that stand in defiance type of mentality. And it can. But it's the same as using a dangerous drug. The thing is at first you get that high, and then the high goes away. So then you take it again. But the high doesn't last as long, and it doesn't get you as high. And that vicious cycle repeats until you're embroiled in it. And then you feel trapped, like you can't get out, like you can't escape from it. And right now, the entire world, every single person, whether willing or unwilling, has become addicted to this dangerous drug. And I've said many times to not forget the past, to learn from it. But I've also said not to wallow in it. Well, unfortunately, we're doing our impressions of pigs wallowing in slop. We're finding the dirtiest parts of our history to wallow in. And I understand the whole living in the moment mentality, but that doesn't allow you to see the dangers that are around you. It's like walking blindfolded into the middle of the street. I guess this is going to be more of a philosophical discussion than most of my streams are. A lot of my streams are, somewhat logic based. There's a little bit of emotion in there, but this one's probably going to be a little bit more somber. The reason why I keep giving those little warnings is for if people pop in or, they jump forward ahead a little bit and maybe miss me saying what I'm going to say on that. But when you look at the world around you, what do you see? Now, some of us might see some serene setting, not a whole lot of strife, not a whole lot of conflict. We might have it pretty good where we currently are. But unfortunately, hatred spreads. And it spreads quickly. And it can spread silently at first and then noisily second. And we're actually seeing that now. This isn't an anti-multiculturalism video or anything like that. In fact, I think every culture needs to learn to accept other cultures. You can disagree. That's fine. But the fact of the matter is at this point, every culture is at war. This is the first time in human history where every culture is at each other's throats to the point to where every single culture on the planet is putting its people through purity tests. Purity tests are nothing new. The idea of it is nothing new. But there is a relatively new realization that a lot of people are coming to. And it's by the people who are getting caught in this stuff who don't put much stock in it. And that is that purity tests only make the shit rise to the top. It brings forward all of the most negative aspects of every culture and puts them on full display. And a lot of those things are actually just endemic of us as humans. It's just part of us. Hatred, fear, sadness, pain, war. When is enough enough? How much suffering has to be caused by us pointing out the differences that we have from people? When are we going to realize that we have more things in common with each other than we do differences? We all share the same planet. We all drink the same water. We all use the same resources. We share lands with each other. We laugh together. We cry together. We live together and we die together. Now I understand the nature of competition, and I get it. I understand it. I don't disagree with it. In fact, competition is one of the things that drives us forward continuously. But there's a point where it starts causing damage, where it stops driving us forward and it starts taking us backward. Where we start destroying the progress that we have made. Be it out of spite, be it out of fear, be it out of hatred. It doesn't matter. The destruction is still the same. We were on the right track for quite a while. We learned that everyone was different, that those differences are going to be there, and that unless those differences caused a direct threat to others, that we should accept those differences. That we shouldn't look at someone for how they're different, but how they are the same. Because it's only when we look at how we are the same that we can actually work towards any kind of future. It's only when we recognize the ways that we are the same that we can address the problems that might make us different. Maybe come to an understanding. Humans have a great capacity in every direction. We have a great capacity for love. We have an equally great capacity for hate. We have a capacity for peace. We have a capacity for war. We have the capacity to laugh. We have the capacity to cry. And to realize the capacity of one, we have to realize the capacity of the other. So I'm not focusing on any particular aspect of the human psyche here. I'm concentrating on us as a whole, not as American, not as people from the UK, people from the EU, people from Japan, people from China, people from Russia. At this point, I couldn't care less. We are all people. We all have our strengths. We all have our weaknesses. And we as a species have survived not by tearing each other down, but by building each other up. And now look at us. We're tearing each other down any opportunity we get. Oh, you've done this wrong. Well, you've done this wrong. Well, you did this in the past. Well, you did this in the past. Look at what you're doing now. Well, look at what you're doing now. We have gotten so obsessed with others that we've stopped even looking at ourselves as individuals. None of us are stopping to think of how we are affecting others around us, only how they affect us. That's the selfishness that some of the people in MGTOW have been warning us about. I'm one of them. I saw this selfishness happening. And yes, to some level, selfishness is needed. It's needed for survival. But there's a point where it goes from being a necessity to being a crutch. We are gimping ourselves at this point unnecessarily. Forget cutting off the nose to spite the face. We're cutting off our legs to spite our bodies. We're losing the ability to move forward. We've become mired in the past, which is chaining us down in the present, and it's robbing us of our futures. We're getting to the point where we're afraid to even talk to one another. Why? Why are we so afraid to talk? Why do we think that we need to shout and scream at each other? Why do we think we need to attack one another on a daily basis? Why do we feel like we need to tear down others? What, so we can get to the top of the pile? Here's a reality check. The pile wouldn't exist without us tearing each other down. How about instead of building a pile, how about we build a tower? Not of those that are slain, not of those who have fallen, those that were too weak. Because there's always going to be someone else challenging to be the top of that pile. And eventually, each one of us will become a part of that pile. Just one more corpse for others to climb over. And what's the point of standing at the top of the pile when you're the only one there? When you're the only one left? When there's no other challengers for the top of the pile, you stand there, age, and die with a whimper. So why are we creating the pile in the first place? We're self-destructing. This hyper-competitiveness needs to stop. We're lying, cheating, scraping, and scratching. But for what? To get an I got you moment? Is it worth it? I keep hearing the ends justify the means. The ends justify the means. I don't buy it. If you have to say that the ends justify the means, then you're just making an excuse for yourself. You're making an excuse for the wrongdoing that you are inflicting on others. I have no respect for someone who says the ends justify the means. And I don't care what point on the political scale you land. It does not matter. At this point, everyone is working against everyone else. We're hearing the creaks and the strains in every society around the world. We're reaching the breaking point. And when it finally goes, we are all a part of that system. Not one of us will be shielded from it. Not one of us will be safe. We will all take the hit as the chain reaction goes down the line. It doesn't matter how much you want to say, oh, well, they're not like me. It doesn't matter how much you say that. Because the thing is they're doing what they're doing for their reasons. You are doing what you're doing for your reasons. You at the very least have that in common. I don't care if you think you have the moral high ground or not. It doesn't matter because your moral high ground is someone else's moral valley. It all comes down to perspective. And we've all gotten so obsessed with tearing down other people's perspectives that we aren't realizing that our own perspectives, our own goals, our own dreams, our own aspirations are crumbling beneath our feet. Yes, everyone can survive on their own, but that means they can survive on their own. You can survive off of nothing but water and honey for a few months. But what kind of existence is that? Would you be happy with that existence? Because that is the essence of surviving, is just existing, continuing to exist for another fucking day, hour, minute, whatever. I don't want to survive. I want to be part of the solution that allows everyone to thrive. I don't want to live on a planet that is continuously drenched in the tears of others. I want to live on a planet where the winds themselves are created by nothing more than our laughter. I don't want to see kids out there killing each other just because someone was slightly different from someone else. I don't want to watch our future generations destroy themselves. But that's what we're setting them up to do right now. Whether it be through war, whether it be through famine, disease, It doesn't matter. The end is the end. And we are speeding ourselves toward it. And I keep hearing people say, MGTOW is the answer. MGTOW is the only answer. That is the mentality that caused this. Saying, I have the only answer. No, you fucking don't. No individual person, no group has the answer. None of us know what the fuck we're doing. And why is that? Because we're not talking. We're too busy telling other people that they're wrong to realize that we as well are wrong. We are flawed. We are human. So everyone needs to get down from their high horse so they can see exactly how much shit has built up underneath them. We need to start dealing with it now. And that means addressing our own shortcomings. That means addressing our own mistakes. That means looking to others. Not for another target, but for an ally. Not for something to tear down, but something to build up. If we all build each other up, then none of us are going to end up face down in the dirt. If we were to all build each other up, we could reach all new heights. But no, here we are just tearing each other down. Why? For what end goal do we rip each other down? What? So we can go ahead and feel superior? So we can get a leg up? Oh yeah, getting one more rung up the fucking shit pile is so fucking important, right? It's all shit. It's not a pile worth being on top of. So how about we go ahead, leave the pile of shit alone, and actually start rebuilding our society. Stop scraping and scrounging in the dirt, in the desolate wasteland that is our lives nowadays. Like I said, I don't want to merely survive. I want to thrive. And I don't want just me to thrive. I want future generations to thrive. I'm tired of tearing down other people just so I can live one more fucking day. Yes, we can be an island. Yes, we can survive on our own. But like I said, there's no point in it when there's no one else around. We're killing each other, beating each other, robbing each other blind, spreading misery everywhere we fucking go. And I am not talking about just MGTOW here. I am talking about everyone. There are people who want nothing to do with it, who are actually trying to build something up, and we are stopping them. There are people that are sitting there saying, Can't we just get along? Guess what? They have the right idea. Us separating ourselves from everyone else is doing nothing to further our existence. All it's doing is making our existence pointless and a waste of resources. That's why on this channel, I allow other people to speak, even if I disagree with them. And that's the reason why I get angry whenever I hear people just tearing people down based off of what they are, or just because they might disagree with them on one fucking point. Why? Why can we not sit down and actually talk? Try to figure out the real problems. Why do we have to waste our time on this superficial bullshit? I hear other MGTOWs sitting there and saying that women are the source of all problems. Well, guess what? It takes two to tango, motherfucker. People got mad at Carly when Carly said that men should have kept women in line. She's right. Just like women need to keep men in line. Because if men run unchecked, we've seen what fucking happens. It's not any prettier than what we have going on now. And we're teaching our children to follow these same lines of what we call thought. So we're just passing the problems down, and they're compounding. It's time that we stop the bickering, stop the warring, stop the bullshit, and actually work our way towards a solution. Quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of seeing the bloodshed. I'm constantly tired nowadays from seeing people crying their eyes out while inflicting pain on others. This is a fucking dystopia that we're living in right now. There's nothing good about this. You see a glimmer of it from time to time. But then it just gets covered in shit because people can't allow that to shine through. Because that light coming through just shows them how dirty their hands are as an individual. And they're scared of it. So if you want to make a difference, go out and build someone up. It doesn't matter how small that change is. Because if all of us were to make even the most minute change in someone else's life for the better, and everyone was to pay those changes forward, then we might actually get somewhere. But we have a lot of ground to make up. Go up to a person, give them a compliment. Not a half-hearted one, but a real one. Go to a loved one. Tell them how much they mean to you. Do not sit there and tear someone down and then expect them to build you up. The building process starts with you. And yes, I am putting the blame on you. I'm putting the blame on myself. I'm putting it on all of us as individuals. Without our individualism, we cannot exist as a group. The only thing we can do as a group at that point is die. There's no reason whatsoever to tear someone else down. If you're telling someone that they're worthless, take a look in the mirror, because you've just done as much damage as they have. Like I said, we're in this together. So when one of us gets torn down, it drags the rest of us with them. We are all linked. So stop the bickering. Stop the bullshit. Be part of the solution, not the problem. Yes, point out issues, but do not point fingers. If someone's doing something wrong, yes, point it out, but also take a look at where they're coming from. You cannot fix a problem without understanding the problem. And if you think that other people are the problem, then you are part of the problem because you do not understand them, because you are being ineffective at fixing said problem. No one in the world is blameless short of a child that was born 5 minutes ago. From the moment you are able to talk, you are responsible. So that means once you get the ability to have cognitive thought, you already have some ground to make up. That's why we need to build each other up. We all start in a deficit. No one wants to admit that. Am I guilty of wrongdoings to others? Yes. I'll admit that openly. Not exactly proudly, but openly. But I'm taking steps to try to correct those wrongdoings. What are you doing to make up for yours? And I ask that with the utmost sincerity. When was the last time you did something good for someone else? When was the last time that you helped someone? When was the last time you paid someone a compliment? Not one that they asked for, but just paying them a compliment. You noticing something good that they were doing. When was the last time you positively affected someone's day? When was the last time you showed compassion for someone? When was the last time you put yourself into someone else's shoes? When was the last time you tried to even understand even part of what another person is going through? That's why it's my goal to at least positively affect 5 people a day in some small way, on the off chance that they might actually pay that forward. If we all had that goal, how far along would we be nowadays? How many suicides would have been prevented? How many criminals that felt like they were alone in the world would have taken a different path? How many tragedies could have been avoided? How many advancements in technology that we could we have made above and beyond what we have done? How many advancements in technology wouldn't have been military based to begin with, but based off of making other people's lives better? How many tears could we have avoided being shed? How many children wouldn't have lost their parents to pointless conflict? How many families would still be together? What would our lifespans be like? Would we still be limited to Earth? These are all questions I ask myself constantly. And it saddens me when I answer myself on them. Because the thing is the world that we know now would be considered a nightmare to us in that reality. If everyone did that, if everyone had that goal, what we are living through right now would be considered the worst thought imaginable. We are the worst case scenario, but we can change that. But it takes everyone as an individual being dedicated to it. And here's the thing, at first, yes, it will be hard because right now we are geared to tear each other down. So at that point, we're reprogramming. But if being addicted to hatred is akin to being addicted to a bad drug, then being addicted to making someone else's day that little bit better is akin to being addicted to exercising and keeping yourself healthy. In fact, I've known many people with addictive personalities. I've known many people who have quit smoking, but then got addicted to exercising. And they said that they would trade that addiction in a heartbeat if they had to go ahead and make the choice again. That they would have just gotten addicted to bettering themselves instead of getting addicted to nicotine. Well, how about this? How about we go ahead and kick our drug habit of hate? Let's do it together. Let's go ahead and start up a new habit, a healthy habit. Go out and make someone else's day better. Go out and help someone. And like I said, it doesn't have to be anything major. I'm not saying go out and drain your bank account and make it rain. But pay someone a compliment. Maybe help that little old lady load her groceries into her car. Maybe help that old man across the street. Make someone laugh. It's that simple. Because I've seen over and over and over again, the better someone feels about themselves, the better their life goes. And trust me, I know that me sitting there and asking, as Malcolm said there, to kick the habit of hate, I know how hard that is. I've said it before in other broadcasts that I've done. I'm a person that thrives on hatred. I have found a way to spin that negative energy into something positive. Hell, I'm doing it right now. But it's kind of a cyclic thing because I have developed an absolute hatred for hatred itself. I'm seeing the damage that it's causing to people. And it's horrible. I'm seeing the tears. I'm seeing the bloodshed. I'm seeing those loved ones who are feeling the pain of someone else's hatred that wasn't even directed at them from losing a loved one or seeing a loved one suffer. So I've now made it my goal to at least try to get 5 people a day. 5 people that I don't know. I don't count family members because I always try to get them to smile. That's easy enough because you can see the direct links there. No. I'm talking random people. If I go out shopping, I'll find 5 random people and I'll pay them a heartfelt compliment. An unexpected compliment is the fastest way to get someone to smile and feel better about themselves. And when they do that, they are more prone to make other people smile and feel better about themselves. If misery loves company, then let's get rid of misery. Now, we can't solve every issue that's out there. And there are some people that do just want to watch the world burn. I'll openly admit that. There are some people out there that just love to cause harm to others. Even if they've had a very positive life, they've had all the positive reinforcement that you can possibly get. There are some people like that. But the key is to not let those people drag the rest of us down. And laughter is like the hiccups. It's contagious. We don't know why. We don't fully understand it, but we know that it's a thing. So how about you go ahead, do your part. Go out there and spread some smiling. Spread some laughter. Spread that little bit of joy. Let's go ahead and start the seeds. As they say, you reap what you sow. Well, if all you sow are seeds of hatred, misunderstanding, and misery, what do you think you're going to get back? But the fact of the matter is we need to do something. Because the longer that we stay inactive, the more seeds of hatred are sown, the more animosity we have, and the farther we poison our fields. And like I said, it'll take work. It'll take a long time to repair the damage that's already been caused. But at least it's possible. And I can promise you right now, it's fucking worth it. Now, I know that there are some people out there that say, oh, I don't want to have anything to do with the opposite sex. Yes, I'm talking about MGTOW here. Stop lying. I'm a MGTOW, but like I said, I'm a MGTOW out of survival instinct. Yes, I have my red pill rage. But I'm actually trying to suggest ways to make changes that are fair to everyone. So that way we can remove that toxicity from those fields. So maybe, just maybe, one day we can actually get back to what we were meant to be doing. And that is being happy, smiling, laughing, supporting each other. Everyone doing their part to make the world just that little bit better. Not only for us, but for our future generations. Quite frankly, I'm thinking about people in the future looking back on the history of the time that we're in right now. And I want them to look back and say, I'm glad they finally figured it out. Instead of them looking back and asking, why didn't anyone change anything? Why did they let it get this bad? Why did they leave us with nothing? All right, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to end the stream right here. I'm sorry for it being a little bit more somber than usual. I know you guys expect, some laughing and all that from here, but this was something that I felt really needed to be said. And honestly, I hope that at least some of you, at least some of the people that watch this, will actually go out and start doing this. And then if someone asks why, go ahead and explain. Hell, if you want, go ahead and point them to this broadcast. Because the more people we have doing this, the less misery we're going to have. And hopefully, we can avoid some tragedies. So have yourselves a great day. Love y'all. No homo. But honestly, go out Tell a loved one that you love them. Let them know how important they are to you, because we tend to take our loved ones for granted. But also, go out and try to make some random person's day better. Hopefully, they'll go out and make another person's day better. But just go ahead, do your part. It's all I can ask of anyone. And that's all I can ask of myself. Just try. Doesn't mean you're always going to succeed. Some people will sit there and take that compliment and try to spin it into a negative. But also put yourself in their position. Just think about it. A lot of us take compliments and we want to look at them as insults for some reason. We're geared that way. It's part of the legacy of what our parents left us. So let's break that legacy. Let's break the legacy of hate. Let's break the cycle. Let's try to leave something that our future generations can be proud of, instead of further feeding disdain down the line when they look back at what we did today. Have yourselves a great day. I wish you all the best, and I'll talk to you all later.